So if we recap yesterday's session, yesterday we have seen, the integration features like how to list the files, how to download the file, nothing but the file activities, how to read the file, how to print the data, which is record by record in a for loop, okay, and how to get the file count and all, right? And what is the significance of stage file? Anyone? What is the significance of stage file?
It's used to perform temporary folder file activities.
Yeah, within the OIC, if you want to perform any file activity operations, you can use this stage file. Stage file can support read, write, zip, unzip, like that. Those operations it can support. So this is your file activities, nothing but. So this is a list of files and download and read the data and printing our data in a loop. Okay. Now we can directly download the file, right? Why we are using the list files here? Anyone give any approach? We can directly download the file from FTP location itself, right? Instead of here, we are providing the list file response, right, for your download file, which is file path and file name. Here we are passing from the list files, but we can directly download the file from the FTP itself. So why we are going the list files? Why we are adding a list file here?
Using the list file, you can search based on the wildcard also. And
yeah, even though for download file also you can search with the wildcard, some partial search criteria.
Okay. Good,
significance is download file can always download only single file.
okay.
If you have more than one file in your FTP directory and the client placed more than one file in the FTP location, so I want to read the same, right? So the moment download file cannot be work. If you have more than one file, obviously you can go for the list of files so that you can get multiple files and you can try to download the file for each and process the same. Okay, the reason we can use the list of files in order to get multiple files into your OIC buffer area. And we are missing here still. So up to now, this integration is clear, right, for everyone. If you are clear this integration, almost 50% you are done with your integrations. Wherever you
Vijay, one question here, like you said download file can download only one file. So
yes,
actually we
you
give
cannot,
pattern there, right, in download.
yeah, here you can pattern, I guess. Here input directory and the file name. File name you can give the pattern.
Okay. Yeah, and we have given the pattern, so it will download all the files with that pattern, right?
No, it won't. It won't. Just keep on trying.
Okay.
It won't. It will give an error. Okay. So as you know, fault handler, right? If any error is happened in this integration, I want to cache my error. Just go to the fault handler here. Just click on the default handler. And you can add a logger message here as of now. Or you can write your error message to your one of the files. Error data. This is my logger. Something error message. Just click on the create. This logger message. And you can see the scope in the left side. Scope fault object. This is my scope fault object. This is my error reason. Just drag and drop. Just validate it. So if any errors are there, it will go to the fault handler and it will catch the error in your log message. The rest of flow, if you have anything, it will perform the rest of flow. We are in the scope. Okay. So this is how, which is file operations. Now, this is read file. As of now, we are trying to read the data. Now we'll try to write the data. Whichever you are trying to read the data, the same data will try to write to another file and will place into my FTP location. Okay. For the write also, you have the stage file. Stage file is nothing but within the OIC if you want to write the data. And you can use the file in other flow for stage file. Whereas FTP here, is GP11 FTP and write file. For the next, select the operation write files and the output directory /gp10 and the file name pattern something. Just write .csv. Just click on the next and you can provide a schema file in which format you need to write the data in your file. So I'm trying to select the CSV. Just click on the next and what is my CSV file here? 10 OIC and this is my CSV file, right? Supplier schema file. Just copy paste one more one and open your CSV file. I want to write only 2 columns. I don't want to go for entire column. Just I want to write 2 columns in my CSV, 2 or 3 columns. Since we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I'm trying to delete address 1 and 2. Just delete. I want to write the data in this format. Okay. So select your file, my schema file in order to write the data. Supplier record set and mark all as optional. I'm trying to keep supplier name is mandatory. Just click on the next and the done. This is my write file and this is my request mapper. Open the request mapper. Already you are holding the data in the read file, right? Just you can map from read to write, from source to target. This is my supplier record set. The right side, target side. Here supplier record, supplier name we are maintaining as a mandatory. The rest of 2 are optional. You can provide the mapping or not, your wish. But supplier number is mandatory. Now here, this is read file response. Earlier, what we have done for this read file response, we are adding a loop, and within the loop, we are trying to print the data. Now, this is read file response. Just expand the response here. Here also you can see the single element and multiple element representation. Here there is a spare symbol would be available. If you have the multiple symbol is nothing but this node, this node can contain multiple records. This is single record. This is multiple records representation. Even though for the right side also you can see the multiple records representation here. Since our CSV schema file does have more than 1 record, the reason it's showing multiple elements notation. Okay, so what you have to do, first map the columns, supplier name to supplier name, supplier site to supplier site, and country to country. So when you map like this, now only very first record it will write to your file, very first record. So I don't want to go for the first record, I want to go for the entire data. For that, you can map node to node. This is called node to node. Nothing but for each is enabled on this node. For each, for all the records, it will write to your write operation. Just click on the XSLT here, and you can see the for each symbol. This is for each on your supplier record from the source side. If you have source side 10 records in the read file, the 10 records can be mapped to your target side, which is the write file. This is called node to node mapping. Whichever data you have source side, the complete data can be mapped to the target site. If you have 100 records, if you have lakhs records, these lakhs records can at a time write to your target file. Okay.
Vijay, here supplier site and country we made optional, right?
Yes, you can provide the mapping or not, your wish.
So if we don't provide mapping for these two, what will happen? It will write data or not write?
No, it won't write the data. Just delete the target node and keep become empty. No issues. Since it is an optional element. Now close it and save. And try to run the integration. I guess we do not have write permissions for my FTP. Let's see. If it is works, good. Otherwise, we're bad. Just try to connect FTP. This is my GP. This is succeeded. So, no write permission, I guess. Error. Error in the logging in, error in logging in, unable to log in server. Please ensure user ID and password specified to the login. The server is correct. 530 Abhishek G 2027 not logged in. We have used too many connections. Please obvious service. There is issue with our FTP. But it will write the data here. You see here, this will write the data. There is an issue with FTP.
So Vijay, it will first create the file in app, I mean, and
it will
on
write
Oracle
to-
Cloud, right? And then it will put
No,
it
no,
on
no.
the FTP.
It straight away write the data into the file and try to place the file in your FTP server. If you use a stage operation, which is write file, it will create the file within the OIC session. It will try to write the data now within the FTP server itself.
Okay.
Since we are used FTP adapter, right?
Yes.
If you have your company, if you have any client FTP, just you can use the FTP same. It will through. So the last time also I got this issue. Sometimes it's saying permissions is not available. This is GP11 FTP adapter. This is also GP11 FTP. This is also GP11 FTP. This is also GP11. Okay, no problem. So while reading and writing, you need to use a schema file in order to how to write the data, how to read the data. You need to provide an instruction for your file so that it will try to read the data and write the data. And you can provide node to node mapping, nothing but for each can be enabled. If you have source side 100 records, the target side, it will map 100 records at a time. Okay, so this is all about file activities. The same way you can have move a file, and here you have move a file, nothing but within the FTP location. I want to move one file, one location to another file in the FTP. You can use a mover file so that you can provide to source path and target path. This is directory path and this is target directory path. You can provide so that the file can be moved to target path. And this is delete file. If you want to delete any specific file from your location, this is directory path and you can provide the file so that the respective file can be deleted from your FTP location. Just you can keep try these two operations and let me know if you face any issues. We'll see. Yeah.
Vijay, in the read operations, two options are there, right? Read entire
Yes.
file and read file in
File
segments.
segments.
Sometimes we may not know the file size, right? More than 10 MB.
Yeah, client will provide the file size, obviously.
Okay. If it is safe to use read file in segments always?
It depends on your client confirmation. If it's less than 10 MB, obviously you can go for the read file in read file. If it is greater than 10 MB, obviously you can go for the read file in segments. But if you have greater than 10 MB, obviously you need to go for database cloud service. Okay. When you have the database cloud service, then only you can go for the read file in segments. Without the DBCS, you cannot use read file in segments. The same we can see in DBCS sessions. Okay. Now we'll see how to invoke in a BAP report within the integration. I want to get some SaaS application data into my OIC application. In my further integration flow, I want to use my SaaS application data based on some inputs. I want to get some of my data. Since we do not have any table to connect, right? You can get it from REST APIs. You can get it from SOAP UI. You can get it from REST APIs, web services, and these BAP reports. Now we'll see how to get the data from the BAP reports before the integration development. First, we'll try to execute the web service by using SOAP UI tool. Same way, we'll open one of the BAP report, any one of the BAP report. This is one of my report. Just edit any one of the report and make some minimal records for an output. Five, 7, 8, 12. I'm getting 3 records here. So if you want to get any output in your BAP report output format in the format of XML representation. Okay, XML representation. Just go to the catalog. This is my report, and this report is associated with this report. Nothing but the data model associated with this report. This is a data model. Go to the view list, and here I'm enable one of the default layout, and rest of the layouts I'm trying to deactivate. And here output formats you can enable XML, and the default format you can enable as XML also, so that your report output can be in XML format and it can be readable in your integrations. Okay. Now take the report path here, just properties. This is report name, and this is my report path. .xto, and you can remove shade keyword. This is my report path, custom GP level reports, and followed by report.xto. This report output in the format of XML. Okay. Now there is a web service available, external report web service. External report web service. So this is XMLP server services external report web service WSDL. This is one of the WSDL which we can use in order to work with your BAP report operations. Okay, just copy the same and try to import one report. Just click on OK. So this is my external report web service operations. You can create the report. You can create report folder. You can delete folder, delete the report, and you can submit the report. You can run the report. You can verify if for report exists or not. The way you can work on some, BAP report operations here. Mostly in the real time, we can go for the run report only. Run report, nothing but simply we are trying to execute the report. Okay, just expand the same and the request one. This is my input payload. Here, you can use a couple of properties. Inside this, just copy here. So all which is not required here, you can remove everything. This is not required. This is also not required. This is also not required. So the parameter name values, here it's required name. Okay. So this is parameter name value is nothing but item. Inside we have the name element. This is your parameter name. This is your parameter value. In the value section, there is an item is available. Nothing but this is your parameter value. This is your parameter label name. The parameter name and followed by report absolute path and rest of you can delete. Report absolute path is nothing but this is your report path. Copy here and size of data chunk download which is -1. -1 is nothing but if you have 10 records in your output, it will try to get your 10 records in your output payload. If you hardcode with 5, nothing but you will try to get the first 5 records within the output. First 5 records within the output. If you have hardcode with 2, nothing but try to get the first 2 records in the output. So always try to hardcode with a -1 so that it will get entire output against your report. Okay. Now, in our report, edit the data model. So I have supplier LOB and supplier country LOB. So first, this supplier country LOB not required, just delete. This is my supplier LOB. So this is country, right? It's not required. This is my supplier number parameter. Copy the parameter, and this is your parameter name. And parameter value, I want to go for 10004 something. This is my parameter value, and this is your parameter name. Just copy the same and add authentication. Try to send the request. Now you will get a run report response here. This is our run report method. For this run report response, this is your report output. Always your report outputs in the format of report bytes, which is an encoded format. It's not in a readable format. It's not in a readable format. If you want to read this data, you need to decode the data. Just copy the same. And here there is a plugins, MIME tools, base 64 decode. So this is your encoded, now this is decoded data. Now you can see the same output here. This is supplier number, parameter name, and this is your output 1000, followed by ID, supplier ID, review type, same output you can see in XML format after you decode the data. The way when you execute any report here, always you will get the data in the format of report bytes. So as of now, we are passing one parameter. If you have more than one parameter, obviously you need to repeat this node. This is item node, right? Item node does contain your values. So this is item node, and you can repeat for one more parameter and you can pass the value. So the two parameters can be satisfied and you will get the data as expected. So this is how to run a BAP report by using a web service. Mostly we can use this service in our real-time integrations in order to get some SaaS application data. Okay. Any doubts here? Hope everyone clear? Simply need to pass parameter name and the value and report absolute path and size of data check download, which is -1. So how will you get these values in the real time is nothing but based on your input file. Your input file may contain your parameter values. For example, client is sending item ID or item number. I want to get item description. So what you will do, simply you can pass your item number to your BAP report and try to get the item description. For the same, if the REST API web service available, you can go for the REST API web service. If the service is not available, just you can use external report web service. In the same way, for REST APIs in web service, always you can try to get only single record. It's not possible to get a bulk records, right? So whereas BAP reports, you can get bulk records at a time into your OIC buffer area, and you can use the data in the further flow. Getting right? Now, we'll try to execute the same web service in our integrations, and we'll try to develop an integration, how to read this data. Okay, this is straight away, we are getting bytes and we are trying to decode, which is manual process, right? So in the integration, how we will do, we'll see. So before that, first we need to create a connection by using SOAP adapter for our WSDL, right? Since it is a WSDL, nothing but SOAP web service. Try to create a connection by using SOAP adapter, and GP11 report service and invoke. Just click on the create, and you can provide the WSDL URL here. So what is my WSDL URL? This is my WSDL URL. The same. My WSDL URL, and this is my username and security username and password token. You can add your username and password, which is SaaS application username and the password. Okay, try to test it. Now the connection was tested successfully, and save the connection. Now develop an integration. Just click on the create, schedule based, select report integration. Just click on the create. Very first add a tracking here. Add something like this, GP11 report integration. Just try to save it and change the design to horizontal and save it. In the invoke section, there is a SOAP adapter is available. Just try to get the connection. Here we have n number of connections are there. It will try to take more time in order to expand this. You can try search the connection here itself. This is GP level report service against your SOAP adapter. Just try to get it the same. So here report call, just click on the next. Here this is external report web service and select the operation. You can see all your associated operations, same operations whichever are there in your SOAP web service, the same operation you could see here. So here in this I need run report. Select the run report, click on the next, click on the next, and then done. So this is your report. Now open the request mapper and try to map these values here. Name and item, report absolute path, and size of data chunk download -1. This is copy absolute path. This is my request mapper. The same payload you can see here. So this is a report absolute path. Right click, create target node, switch to developer view, and hard code your report path and size of data chunk download here -1. -1. Okay. Now, so in generally, how will you get this report path? Will you maintain in the integration internally? We need to avoid the hard code. Always you need to get this value from the lookup. But report path. There is a chance to update this report path right in future. The reason always try to avoid the hard code, the integration level, whatever it may be, try to get it from the lookups. Create an integration name and compare the integration name and try to get this, report path from your custom lookup. So that in future, if any changes happens against your report path, simply you can change the entry against your lookup, not the integration level. Okay, you can reduce the redundancy of the work. Now this is parameter name values. Expand here. This is items. Create target node. So I have item. Inside I have name. Right click. Create target node. My item name is P supplier number. Supplier number. And the values, expand the values. Again, you can see the item here. Create target node and my value is 1004 as of now. I'm hard code. Just validate it and close it. This is more enough. So we mapped all the requested parameters in the request payload and try to save the way. If you want to work your BAP reports, you need to test your web service in your SOAP here. Not only BAP report web service, any web service or any REST API, first you need to test in the tools and try to use the same in your integration so that it can be very easy when you are adding your input payloads. This is report call. Now, once it is executed, what is the output? The output is nothing but
Response bytes.
Response bytes. First, we'll verify the same here, whether we are getting the data or not. So this is still refresh. This is message sent to report call. Just verify the payload. The same here. This is supplier number and item, and this is report execute path. And size of data chunk download, which is -1. Then this report can be executed here, and message received from the report call. So what is the message you are receiving? This is report bytes. This is your output in the format of bytes. Now we'll try to decode this data. So create a variable or create a logger here. Report output. Always carry the same. Decode in the component section, there is a decode option is available, which is decode base 64. Just drag and drop, and the input string is nothing but your report call, report return response, which is the bytes. Sometimes it can struck like this. Just you can close the same. And this is run report. This report bytes. Just you can drag and drop here, which is report bytes response here. Just try to validate. So what it will do, it will try to decode the data and print the same data in your logger message. We try to test it. So if you see here, this is message received in the report call logger. Now you can see the payload received with the report output. Now the data is decoded by using decode function. Now you are able to see the data. Yes. Now I want to read this data. Now this is simply we are printing in a logger, right? So I want to read this data into my further flow of the integration. In further flow of integration, I want to use this segment one value. So in order to use these values, first you need to read the data. At last, how you read the data is nothing but first what you will do, you need to write the same data as it is your XML data. You need to write the data into one of the file, and you need to read the data by using this XML schema. You need to read the data by using XML schema. So first we'll try to write the data. This data first we can write the data into one of the file by using stage file write operation. Further, there is a for the write operation, there is a XSD schema file we need to use, which is opaque.xsd. We call it opaque.xsd. Here we have a single element, which is opaque element. This element significance, element type is nothing but base 64 binary. So what it will do, it will try to decode the data and write the data into your file. First, we'll try to add this XSD so that you will get understanding. First, taken a stage file operation. write report data. Just click on the next. Choose the operation write file and specify the file name. I want to write the data in one of my XML file, test.xml. I want to write the data into XML file. And where you are trying to write the data, which is a temporary folder, /temp/write. It can be anything, not only /temp/write. Always temporary folder can be start with slash. You can give any name. Now just click on the next. Use XSD document for the schema file, in which fashion you are trying to write the data. So I'm trying to use opac.xsd here. Opac.xsd have a base 64 element. So what it will do, it will try to decode the data, and whichever decode data is there, the entire data it will place in your XML file, so that your data in a XML format. Okay. This is opac.xsd. Just click on the next and then. So now what you will do here, whichever report bytes response is there, you need to map reports byte response to your opac element. So opac element type is base 64 binary. It will try to decode the data. This opac element is nothing but base 64 binary. Same option we have been used in our logger file. Okay. So what it will do, this is report called response, and this report bytes. So what it will do, it will try to decode your data. Whichever decode the data is there, the same data it will write to your XML file. So test.xml file contain your entire string of your report output. At the last, the format can XML format. So once it is executed, what is the response here? You will get a response in the format of test.xml contain amount of data, right? So your test.xml data is nothing but indirectly let's try to export the data here. So indirectly, your data looks like this only. When you are decode the data, your data looks like this only, right? If you see here, this is your data, the same data here. Okay. This is your decode data. This is your XML data, whichever you are exported. So use this XML file as a reference for schema file in order to read the data. Whichever you are trying to read the data, whichever you are trying to write the data, both are in same formats always. It should be same format. The way you can read the data straight away. Now you can use the read file operation in order to read the data, whichever you write the data from the XML file. From that XML file, you can read the data with help of schema file, which is your downloaded XML tags. Read data, click on the next, read entire file, specify the file name is nothing but your test.xml file, nothing but your write file response. This is write report data, write response, ISAs file, load more, and properties, load more, and file name. File name, nothing but test.xml indirectly, and /temp/write your directory. Just copy the same and change your directory. This is test.xml. This is your /temp/write. From this location, from this file, it will try to read the data with help of schema file. What is the schema file? Sample XML document. What is the XML document? Already have been downloaded from your local for your report. So always you need to keep more than one record here in your XML tags so that it will enable multiple element node. Nothing but it will enable for each more than one element. A repeating element can be enabled. Just click on the next and then done. That's it. It will try to read the data, whichever write the data is there from XML file, it will try to read the data. Now you can print your data here. So always it will try to get more than one record, right? Use for each. And read data response. This data DS, and this is supplier number, which is multiple repeating element. And for each rec, create and try to print the data in a logger. This is for each rec. I'm trying to print segment 1. Just validate it and close. Just recap everything again. Report call, just satisfy with all your input payloads and try to write the data in one of the XML file, whichever you are trying to decode. So how you are going to decode? By using one of the XSD file, XSD schema file, by using one of the element. Element type is base 64 binary. At the runtime, it will try to decode your data and place the decoded data into your test.xml file in a temporary folder. So try to read the data same as it is by using read data operation. It's not possible to read the data by using write operation. When you write the data, obviously you need to read the data. Then only it can be available in your temporary buffer. Now you can print the data. So always write the data and the read data format should be same. For the write data, you can use XSD schema file. For the read data, you can use your BAP report XML tags file, which is .xml file. Since you are trying to write the data into a .xml file. Okay. Don't confuse here. Very first time, it's not possible to understand. You need to keep practice.
And Vijay, how do we get that XSD file every time?
XSD file, obviously you need to maintain a backup. That is single element, right? This is single element.
Okay, so where from where should we download this?
You can get it from Google.
Oh.
You can save with .xsd, opaque element .xsd. By being in the chart screen. Always keep a backup in your local machine. So whenever requirement will come, just you can use monitoring, integrations, tracking. You see here, this is message received report call, and this is our logger, and this is write report data, and payload received from the write report data. Nothing but your test.xml file can contain some data. Checksum is nothing but data which is 446 size bytes, and you are trying to read the data. Payload received from the read data. The same XML representation you can see here. The same XML representation. Now you can read the data. This is payload iteration 1. I have only one record. So my log message is 10004. Okay, my log message is 10004. Now you can use these XML tags anywhere in your integration in the further flow. in order to satisfy your requirement. Okay. This is how you can execute a BAP report through integration. Okay, that's it for today. Any doubts, any clarifications on this?